everyone, welcome to Kino. Today we'll look at favorite films of both audiences and critics. Coming up on the show...
From Takeoff to Tailspin, the World War I drama The Red Baron. Flying High, the rise and rise of Max Riemelt. Who'll win the Lola? The favorites for the German Film Awards.
In Japan, cherry blossom season is over, but it may still reach its high point in Germany. Doris Dörrier's new film Cherry Blossoms, Hanami, is the big favorite heading into the German Film Awards, the country's most important movie event. But there are other strong contenders for the Lola Awards. Here's a look at some of the frontrunners.
This is Lola, Germany's most important film award. State Culture Minister Bernd Neumann and actress Senta Berger, the president of the German Film Academy, were live on TV to announce the nominations. One of the top candidates is The Edge of Heaven. Fatih Akin's film is a drama about people straddling two worlds, shuttling between Germany and Turkey. It's received 5 nominations, including Best Film and Best Director.
And where do you come from? I am from Istanbul.
The search for homeland and identity is a motif that runs through all of Fatih Akin's films. Here, 6 biographies intertwine in a fabric of violence, love and death. One of the nominations for Best Actress goes to Hannah Shigula.
Worauf wollen Sie anstoßen? Auf den Tod.
Akin's film has already won Best Screenplay at Cannes and the European Film Awards. The main favorite with 6 nominations is Doris Dörrier's Cherry Blossoms, Hanami.
Stell dir mal vor, wir hätten immer so viel Zeit. Was würdest du denn dann gern tun?
Dann wir früh in die Arbeit fahren und am Abend wieder zu dir nach Hause kommen. Das hätte ich machen.
Cherry Blossoms, Hanami is a romantic drama about the death of a partner. The screenplay by the film's director Doris Dörrier contains some very personal references. Her husband died some years ago of cancer. Elmer Wepper's moving performance earned him a nomination as Best Actor.
Da, Trudi, das ist für dich.
This film about the loss of a loved one and living after death is both personal and poetic. It has a good chance of taking the Lola for Best Film. This cultural trophy is a valuable one. Even a nomination for a Lola comes with a cash prize.
How much money is associated with the individual nominations?
If we take all the nominations together, we already get a sum of €2 million. And the final prize money with the Lolas amounts to an additional $1 million.
It's meant to support the upcoming films of the producers, directors and all the prize winners.
The total of €3 million in funding can provide much needed support, especially for smaller productions. Another nominee for Best Film is And Along Come Tourists. A young German man is doing his civilian service at Auschwitz. There he encounters an elderly survivor of the camp.
Wohnen Sie jetzt hier?
Ja, ich wohne da drüben. Ich bin noch ein Zivi jetzt. Ich soll mich in nächster Zeit so ein bisschen um Sie kümmern.
Junge? Sind Sie ein Diener?
Much of the story is the director's own. He himself did civilian service at the site of the former death camp. With the cautious rapprochement between the elderly Pole and the young German, Robert Thalheim's understated but impressive film is also a story about overcoming the past in the present. Which of these favorites will take home one of the coveted Lolas? All will be revealed at the award ceremony on April the 25th.
Each year, the Film Academy honors the films it considers the best. But what do ordinary filmgoers think? German audiences are again flocking to the cinemas in huge numbers. But in comparison, Germans don't go to the movies as often as people in the rest of Europe. So we asked what moviegoers expect when they go to the cinema.
Germans are not big moviegoers these days. Although the multiplex cinemas may be full on Friday nights, statistics show that on average, each German only goes to the movies 1.5 times a year. How often do you go to the movies?
About once a week.
Once every 2 months?
Once a month.
Every half year?
Pretty rarely.
Not so often, now and then.
In recent months, some couch potatoes were enticed into the cinemas by the German comedy Kein Ohrhasen, or Rabbit Without Ears.
Genau, kein Ohrhasen.
Kein Ohrhasen. Kein Ohrhasen.
I'd like to see Kein Ohrhasen.
Fertig.
Der hat ja gar keine Ohren.
Sieht trotzdem schön aus.
Wenn er keine Ohren hat, ist es kein Hase.
6 million people have already been out to see the film.
Ich dachte eigentlich, du wärst eine totale Flasche im Bett.
Komisch, ich habe das selber von dir gedacht.
Ich war mal Leistungsturnerin.
Oh.
It's been a surprise hit. Even Till Schweiger is amazed by his film's success at the box office. But film experts are warning against assuming that this is part of a change in moviegoing habits. They say German cinemas will be losing audiences in the future because of demographic trends.
Our classic target group is the under 30-year-olds, and that's shrinking. That's demographics. The population is shrinking and getting older. The 50-plus age group, the new target group, is not being addressed as much as one would like in the material, the themes and the productions in the cinema.
Another recent German success also addresses younger audiences. The Wave is about a high school experiment in fascism.
Ihr seid also der Meinung, dass die Diktatur in Deutschland nicht mehr möglich wäre, ja? Auf keinen Fall, dazu sind wir viel zu aufgeklärt. Was hast du eigentlich gegen die Welle?
Mensch, Marco, mach doch mal die Augen auf. Die Welle entwickelt sich zu einer echt komischen Sache.
To everyone's surprise, The Wave has also turned out to be a hit. Box office figures are in the millions. All this has been a reason for Germany's film industry to celebrate. The German Federal Film Board awards a great deal of money to the country's most successful films and production companies. In 2007, a relatively bad year for German film, Part 4 of the Wild Soccer Bunch teen comedy series was the biggest box office hit, with just 2.5 million tickets sold. That number has already been doubled by Rabbit Without Ears, but the industry can't afford to ignore the competition.
We have different kinds of leisure habits in Germany. In particular, we have a high-quality free TV program. DVDs in Germany are very affordable. These are all things that mean that Germans won't go to the movies as often as our European neighbors.
The film industry has been trying to beat the competition with ads like this one.
Na, wie groß ist ein King Kong? Erschütternd. Deutschland. Ort grausamer Massenfilmhaltung. Schauen Sie nicht weg. Gehen Sie ins Kino.
Kino. Dafür werden Filme gemacht.
Cinemas are expecting a run on upcoming blockbusters like the latest Indiana Jones and James Bond offerings. What about German films? What does a German film have to appeal to you?
It has to be believable and the subject has to interest me. It has to be about real life.
Political background, to see the way things really were.
Interesting subjects, good actors.
It has to be witty and funny.
Expectations among cinema goers are high, and one thing is sure, they are the ones who will decide what is a hit and what is not.
Now it's time for our shortcuts. Today we have 3 new releases that have one thing in common. They all show people searching for something.
A 30-year-old is desperate for affection.
Du, Sina, erzähl mir was.
Her bedridden mother has never given her the attention she craves.
Die Blumen sind
Erm takes refuge in a fictitious world. She calls up strangers posing as a child.
Eine Geschichte.
Eine Geschichte?
Vom Murkel. Ja, von dem Hamster. Mama, die Sina will dich mal.
She also plays the role of the mother of the make-believe child.
Ja, also gut. Wart bitte da. Ja, guten Tag, hier ist Eleonore. Ja. Ach, Sie arbeiten hier. Natürlich.
But one day, the game with fiction and reality gets out of control when Erm encounters one of her telephone victims.
Sie kommt jetzt in die 3. Klasse, oder? Meine Tochter ist weg. Tot. Leukämie. Es ging sehr schnell.
Zina won't be brushed off so easily. The two women grow closer, but friendship is a long way off. The Calling Game is a psychological drama about love and acceptance.
Sowas würde ich mich im Leben nicht trauen.
Das ist nicht dasselbe.
They also have dreams, dreams of a great career. Chico and his friends are the children of Turkish immigrants in Hamburg's working-class suburbs.
Geil. Was soll das bringen, Digga? Respekt. Wenn du der Beste sein willst, dann musst du Respekt kriegen. Und wenn du Respekt kriegen willst, dann darfst du keinen anderen Respekt zeigen. Wenn du keinen anderen Respekt zeigst, ne, dann denken die Leute irgendwann, Mann, du hast den Respekt erfunden, Alter.
Chico offers to work for drug boss Brownie.
Quatsch, wie gesagt, ich hab Halsschmerzen. Scheiß Eis da raus.
Sorry, Brownie.
By becoming a drug dealer, Chico has chosen the simplest way to earn quick money. Violence is the language of the streets. This film contains scenes of brutality, but it also explores what lies behind the young people's rage and lack of perspective.
Ich bin jetzt hier, merkt ihr meine Scheißfressen? Ich bin Chico!
Chico's business is going well, and he seems to be achieving his dream of material happiness. Finally, he has what he wanted: respect, power, and money. But his rapid rise comes at a price when he betrays his best friend. The dream of happiness ends in tragedy.
Was ist los, Mann? Carly, komm her! Carly!
Also so kommen wir doch nicht weiter.
Vielleicht sollte man sich mit einigen Dingen einfach abfinden.
Abfinden? Sie meinen so wie Sie.
Lena's career counselor is not having an easy time of it. This young woman only wants to be a drummer, but the film's theme is more universal. It's about growing up. Lena is 17 and under pressure to finish school, find a job. Most of the pressure comes from her father, an unemployed engineer.
Ja? Sich ein schönes Leben machen und uns auf der Tasche liegen.
Schlagzeug. Hast du nicht gehört? Ich hab gesagt, ich jobbe.
Erstmal was Solides, dann die Sprenzchen.
Wenn einer auf der Tasche liegt, dann tut er Mama. Friedrich!
Was denn, Friedrich?
Was machst du denn?
Was mach ich denn?
The film explores the character's search for her true passion, along with all the opposition and self-doubt she encounters.
Okay.
Lena pretends to be a music student in order to get drum lessons.
Ich habe das immer von draußen gehört und wollte einfach mal reinschauen und da war die Tür offen. Ich weiß nicht, das klang so...
Du bist gar keine Studentin.
Nee.
Aber du würdest gern Schlagzeug lernen.
Ja.
Lena pursues her goal. She forms a band, and although she will never become a superstar, she does manage to realize her dream.
Baby-faced Max Riemelt may be just 24 years old, but he's already got an impressive acting resume. He had his first film role at the age of 13, and he's been working his way to the top ranks of German actors ever since. We sat down with the young actor, who stars in 3 current releases at German cinemas.
From teen hero to character actor, Max Riemelt is only 24, but he's already shown versatility beyond his years.
Ich stand da plötzlich und
Laufen, Radfahren, Schwimmen, das ganze Programm.
Dann haben Sie eine Menge vor sich.
Falls du in deinem vollen Terminkalender doch noch eine Lücke findest, kannst du mal vorbeikommen.
In his new film, Run for Your Life, Riemelt plays a young man whose life goes off course when he leaves school. He ends up hopelessly addicted to heroin. The film is based on the true story of Andreas Niedrich, an addict who succumbs to the drug's vice-like grip.
Ich bin kein Junkie!
After repeatedly failing to quit his habit, Niedrich finds redemption in a different kind of drug: sports. He becomes a successful triathlete. Max Riemelt says it's a dream role to play.
I trust the director to tell me when I go too far, or if something doesn't work. That gives me the courage to experiment more, to play riskier roles. Although I've never really projected into any particular role, I've just been myself, really.
Riemelt is a self-taught actor. He first ventured in front of the camera when he was 13. 2 years later, he shot his first movie. Now he mainly gets leading roles. But has he adjusted to fame?
Sometimes people recognize you, but they're not quite sure. So they stare at you, trying to work out who you are. But that doesn't bother me too much. What I don't like is getting too much attention at events, when young people go crazy and you can't understand why. But that's the way it is, I guess.
That's showbiz, as Riemelt discovered at the 2005 Berlin Film Festival. He emerged as a rising star, gaining praise and attention alongside other hot European talent.
I think a certain amount of exposure in the media does help, in that it raises my profile with the people who matter most. The people who offer me roles.
Riemelt's big breakthrough came with Napola in 2004. He played a working-class boy in an elite Nazi academy, torn between embracing and rejecting the school's ethos. Riemelt then won a string of awards for his role in the East Germany drama The Red Cockatoo.
Wartest einen Moment, dann gehst du hinten raus.
I had the feeling he was someone who was able to judge himself, to appreciate things that also belong to his role, an honesty and a resolve.
It's this quality of straightforwardness that marks Riemelt out. And yet in the right situation, he can also show great sensitivity.
Arnold, dein Vater ist nicht im Weltraum.
In Hardy Sturm's melodrama Up to the Sky, Riemelt plays a young man who believes he's an alien.
Was denkst du eigentlich? Bin ich verrückt?
Ist verrückt? Was redest du denn da?
Max has developed into a real man. He has a really striking face and a very special charisma.
But he hasn't lost his modesty, even when signing autographs.
Oh, this is your pen, isn't it? Dreams? I don't know. I'm living my dream right now, to be honest. Although I never really had a dream like this. This is just the best that could have happened to me. It would be nice if it keeps going.
And with directors lining up to work with Max Riemelt, it probably will.
This is the German Museum of Technology. Here you can see historic planes from the First World War. Manfred von Richthofen was the most famous fighter pilot of this period. Known as the Red Baron, his legend lives on in computer games, comic books and movies. but he remains a controversial figure. A hero to some, a cold-blooded killer to others. Now German director Niki Müllerschön has told his version of the story, with the help of an 18 million euro budget and lots of special effects.
The First World War. Germany's fighter pilots were the heroes of the skies, defying gravity in their brightly colored planes high above the harsh reality of the war. Their figurehead was a legend in his own lifetime. Manfred von Richthofen, dubbed the Red Baron for his scarlet Fokker and aristocratic background. Now he's portrayed by the young star Matthias Schweighöfer in a film about honor and courage.
As a young
boy, you can't escape the Red Baron. Now I've been living in the US for a long time. I realize how this German war hero is also seen as a legend overseas.
Not everyone's a fan, though. Von Richthofen is known to some as the Red Devil, but few deny the pilot's allure.
What I think is great is that this man was basically an absolute rebel. It was the first squadron with brightly colored planes, and he never really wore those uniforms. Instead, he'd wear pullovers and a scarf with the French colors.
The film is packed with action scenes, but the CGI effects come closer to the look of a video game than the reality of a dogfight.
Sie waren natürlich damals.
These guys were stars, the pop stars of their time. You have to remember that the vast majority of the people who were down there fighting this terrible war in the trenches, or just lived through this time, had never seen an airplane in their entire lives.
Oder während dieses Krieges und in der Zeit gelebt haben, hatten noch nie ein Flugzeug gesehen.
In the midst of this brutal war, the heroes of the skies had great propaganda value.
Was sollen wir jetzt machen? Ich könnte sie zusammenfahren.
Steck die verdammte Pistole. Pouvez-vous me signer ça, s'il vous plaît?
Was hat er gesagt? Er will vom Herrn Rittmeister ein Autogramm.
The ambitious officer von Richthofen was rapidly built up into a dubious sort of idol.
Wir zeigen Menschen, die Killer sind.
We're portraying people who are, in a way, killers. It's something we've explored and challenged. I hope we haven't glorified him.
Das war auf jeden Fall, dass wir ihn glorifiziert haben.
Unser Ziel ist es, Flieger abzuschießen, nicht die Piloten. Wir sind Sportsmänner, keine Schlechter.
And yet the Red Baron celebrates scores of hits.
Richthofen hat einen Zweisitzer runtergeholt, um zu punkten. Dann lass uns mal deine Beute suchen, um den Abschuss zu bestätigen.
War is presented as an adventure played out by cool young guys, with famous actors like Till Schweiger.
Helft mir, Mann, helft mir!
And the British star Joseph Fiennes. The film glosses over historical truths, delivering instead a cliched picture of von Richthofen as a noble hero. Here he saves the life of a pilot he shot down. In reality, he killed some 75 adversaries in the course of 20 months. But the film falls completely flat at its intended high point, losing its way in a love story between von Richthofen and a nurse who tries to open his eyes. Despite some long speeches, the talented Schweighöfer isn't believable as a tormented war hero.
Ich wollte der Beste sein. Ich wollte gewinnen und dachte, das habe ich auch. Aber jetzt kann ich sehen, Käthe. Ich sehe, dass wir unsere Welt in ein Schlachthaus verwandelt haben. Und ich habe schon viel zu viel dazu beigetragen. Sie täuschen mit meinem Foto. Hoffnung vor, wo keiner mehr ist. Sie benutzen meinen Namen, um uns Sterblichkeit zu heucheln, wo es in Wirklichkeit nur noch Schmerz und Verrecken gibt. Du hast es selbst gesagt. Die Männer, die da draußen sterben, haben keine Wahl. Ich schon.
Der Mann hatte Mut.
The man had the courage to say, okay, 20 of us will fly out and maybe 17 won't be coming back. And that was on his shoulders. I find that incredibly courageous. I couldn't do it.
Was könnte ich nicht.
But sending men into a battle that can't be won has little to do with courage and certainly doesn't qualify as heroism. For all its good intentions, The Red Baron is little more than a patriotic adventure movie.
Today we're giving away copies of the film Leroy. It's political incorrectness at its best, as young Leroy uses his wicked sense of humor to fight racism in Berlin. And the film is in the running as Best Children's Film at the German Film Awards. You could win a DVD if you write to us and tell us how you like this edition of Kino. Here's our address. DWTV, Wolterstraße 6, 13355 Berlin. Email kino@dw-world.de. That's all for now, but we'll be back next month with all the latest news in German cinema. Until then, see you at the movies.